This is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Akery.
And Luke, whether you realize it or not, a simple change in your mindset can significantly impact the outcome of a situation as well as the outcome of your place in life. And the biggest factor in the difference between the biggest factor in that is the difference between having a fixed mindset or having a growth mindset. So psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, she wrote the book actually called Mindset. She is of Stanford University. She was the first to describe the growth mindset, and her research explains why some people fail and others succeed, and it's mainly linked to this type of mindset. So today we're going to talk about the difference between the opposing mindsets, how to tell which one you have, and most importantly, how to take action and change it. So this is something that we've been talking about a little bit lately. It's just the idea of mindset and your ability to actually change your mindset.
Would you hire somebody that has the right mindset, no skills, or the skills, but the wrong mindset?
Oh, man.
Which one would you choose? That's a difficult one.
Mindset, and I'll teach them the skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would do the same. The only caveat I would probably make is if I needed instantaneous results based upon my situation, and I know that I can direct this person exactly what to do.
Yeah.
That's the only caveat I would make, but it's a bad caveat. It's a sacrifice. It's almost like in IT, technical debt. Like sometimes you do stuff in IT that you know is not the best architecture-wise,
right?
Because it's faster.
Yep.
But you're going to have to deal with that technical debt later. Yeah. It's the same there. But mindset all day long, and the more and more I do this and live life, the more and more I realize like it's really everything.
Yeah.
It's why Tom Brady couldn't retire.
Right.
Because his mindset was just not there yet.
Well, what are we talking about here? So this idea of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, we'll go over what the differences are. So people that have a fixed mindset generally believe that basic qualities like intelligence or talents are fixed trait and that those fixed traits are responsible for success. Inverse that with people with a growth mindset, they typically believe that new abilities can be developed through practice, and they have a love for learning that most great leaders and artists have in common. So another way to kind of look at it is those with a growth mindset, they embrace challenges as opportunities to learn, and people with a fixed mindset avoid challenges out of fear of failure.
I think it was Gary Vee who said one of the traits he looks for and one of the things that's made him extremely successful is his curiosity. He is so curious to just what the answer is or what this is about, or asking the 5 whys. Why? And that just mindset drives you and pushes you.
And it's linked directly to that growth mindset from the perspective of people with a growth mindset enjoy the journey more so necessarily than the results of it. They kind of look at life as an exciting journey with endless opportunity to figure out new things in advance. Whereas people with a fixed mindset tend to document and look back on past achievements.
Interesting.
Versus looking forward to the next opportunity. So going to go through a couple different ways to tell, which type of mindset might you have, pulling from a couple different examples. This would be an example of, let's say, maybe it's physical exercise, maybe it's trying a new skill, maybe it's learning to play the guitar or something like that. People with a fixed mindset, and kind of run these scenarios through your head as we're talking through them to figure out which one you think of. People with a fixed mindset are afraid to look stupid and be laughed at if they fail at something. People with a growth mindset embrace any challenge and know that failing is part of the learning and truly believe that they will not be laughed at as long as they try hard enough. So that's one example. Another example, this comes to receiving feedback. How do you tend to receive feedback? So people with a fixed mindset avoid feedback and they take it personally. People with a growth mindset knows that to improve, they need to listen to constructive criticism and know that it's not them that's being assessed, but it's the results of their work on that one day.
Yeah, that idea, the fruits of that idea,
Yeah. And then the last way that we'll kind of look at it from this perspective of, and this was the most powerful one to me, this one really resonated. This is how you perceive or how you kind of react when people around you, friends, colleagues, coworkers, achieve success. So people with a growth mindset see others succeed and it inspires them, knowing that if they can get better, they're likely to get better too. Whereas people with a fixed mindset tend to feel threatened and feel that other people's success, friends, colleagues, coworkers' success actually puts more pressure on themselves.
Super interesting, because like the way I've always thought about it, which almost sounded the way you were saying it, like the fixed mindset, is I always look at people like Steve Jobs and just go, well, if he could do it, why can't I do it?
I know.
Like if that guy can, not knocking him necessarily, but that the mindset is kind of knocking of like, man, if this guy can build this type of company, why can't I?
Yeah.
But it is.
But that's a growth mindset.
Exactly.
That is 100% a growth mindset
because it inspires you to go, oh, this is achievable. It's the 4-minute mile. The Bannister runs the 4-minute mile, and then within a couple of weeks, people ran it.
100%. Neuroscience. So I know we've been talking to neuroscience a lot on the podcast lately, but look, it actually supports the growth mindset. So this isn't just examples or ideas. This is actual research that they confirm that the brain continues to grow like any other muscle in the body with training. So that links back to this idea that if you are learning new things, you're trying new opportunities.
Is that
if you're
the
pushing
myelin?
yourself to learn, similar to what we talked about with the myelin, right? Your brain will continue to grow. And in growth-minded people, the brain is most active when a person was told how they could improve. So that's when their brain is most active and growing. In people with a fixed mindset, and this was studied through, studying the transmission in these two areas of the brain, the anterior cingulate cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, just to give you guys all a little bit of medical background there. People with a fixed mindset, their brain is active when being given information about their performance. So they're focused on their performance and how they were feeling versus people with a growth mindset are always listening to how to improve. Yeah.
Interesting.
So another kind of thing that you can kind of run through.
Do you think the fixed mindset is wrong?
I don't think there's a right or a wrong here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Like, I don't think it's wrong. I think if you're a fixed mindset, you're going to be naturally good at other things. Like you're not going to be a good entrepreneur. Yeah. You're not going to be like, I shouldn't say that. I can't make that blanket statement, but you're probably not, you're probably not going to be somebody who wants to be in an arena of competition.
Okay, follow-up question for that.
Yeah.
Do you think that everyone is like always with a fixed mindset or always with a growth mindset? Because as you're going through these examples, I'm kind of like, well, in some scenarios, I feel I'm definitely more fixed mindset. But in others, I feel like I'm more of a growth mindset.
I think that is a huge golden nugget that you're bringing out. I think that it is not a blanket statement of someone's overall being. I think you have to think about the things in your life and approach those things. And I mean, that's the action item of the podcast. Are you having a fixed mindset here? And are you having a growth mindset? And to Josh and I's point of, is there a right and wrong? Not necessarily, but you not being aware will kill you. Yeah. Like one of the greatest strengths in life is being aware, emotionally intelligent, and aware of what's happening and why it's happening.
Now, one of the things, like they said, the benefits of a growth mindset, just to kind of focus on that for a little bit, is less anxiety, tend to be less depressed, right? People that don't have a fixed mindset, that sort of idea, and they tend to see more results as a result of their work.
Yeah, like more achievement because it's more competitive. Like, it's like you're always growing. I would encourage people. I think you should have a growth mindset, but as I listen to you talk about it, I go, I mean, it's not terrible. I think about like accountants, and they're very much. Well,
I mean, I think that the idea of you can still work in a steady, detail-oriented position, but still have the desire and the excitement of learning new things
to grow.
Yeah, to grow. Here's something really interesting to kind of jump on that. Studies show, because you kind of look at like, is it nature versus nurture? And I think this is a little bit of what we're kind of sometimes growth, sometimes fixed. Studies show that adopted twins tend to have higher intelligence compared to their siblings who stayed with their biological parents. So twins, take a set of twins, the one that if one was adopted, right? How they find these people to get this research, I don't know. But the one that was adopted tend to have a higher level of intelligence. The difference they found typically comes from the higher educational levels of adoptive parents, showing that nurture is ultimately more important than nature.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So just the environment that you're in
makes sense,
pushes you to,
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, one of the most important things to understand about life is your environment will dictate who you are, because, it's like the temperature in a room. Everything will elevate to that temperature or go down to that temperature.
Yeah.
So you got to get around people that have a higher temperature than you. So you elevate to that level.
So how do you change your mindset? Look, neuroscience also shows that the brain can be remolded over time as new neural pathways are formed. This is called neuroplasticity. So the first way that you can change it is to realize that scientifically you can improve. You can change your mindset. Challenge yourself with new experiences. This can form or strengthen neural connections to rewire your brain. The same thing we talked about we talked about this sort of a little bit during the habit loop. We talked a little bit when we were talking about, how to get better at anything. That pushing yourself consistently to learn something new is going to actually rewire your brain in order to achieve that new result.
Yeah, super interesting.
The second reason here is to remove the fixed mindset inner voice. So you can consciously flip your thoughts from I can't do this to I can keep doing it if I keep practicing. Now that is a conscious decision to say, you're in control of your brain, right? You are your brain. So whatever your brain is thinking, you have the ability to tell it to think something else. So simply flipping your thoughts can help with there. Reward the process instead of the result. So this also goes back to the habit loop, this idea of there's a trigger and then there's a habit, right? And then there's a result from that. Instead of focusing, let's just pick weight gain because it's the easiest example. Instead of focusing on rewarding yourself for losing weight, focus on rewarding yourself for waking up at 5 a.m., putting your sneakers on and getting in your car to go to the gym. Don't even reward yourself for going to the gym. Just that simple habit of the process and in learning to enjoy the process. Get feedback is another really important thing. Feedback is associated with a pleasurable dopamine response that actually enhances the growth mindset. So actively seek out feedback.
I want to chime in, one of the lost arts today and that we're losing in today's world is sincere and radical candor. Like people just do not give sincere feedback. And everybody craves it.
It's all sugar coated.
Yeah, it's all sugar coated. Everybody wants to deliver the soft, whatever feedback so you feel good, and it really kills the person.
Did we ever do an episode on radical candor? We should do that.
Yeah, I think we did.
We did? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. But it's a lost art form that we have to bring back of you have to be direct with people. And you know where I think it's from? It's from our society that really everybody gets a trophy. Like everybody wins, everybody's a winner, everybody's, is successful. It's like, no, not everybody's successful. No, not everybody's a winner. There are winners and losers. Yeah. And guess what? You have to have sincere, radical feedback because that growth, that knowing where the losing is and where the winning is actually helps you succeed in life.
Absolutely. Next option or idea that they give you here to change your mindset is to get out of your comfort zone. So this is a great tip. When faced with a challenge, actually, I think you just put out a TikTok similar to this, but when faced with a challenge, choose the harder option because that will be the option that actually allows you to grow. And then the last one is to accept failure as part of the process. Understanding that failure will happen, try again. That ultimately is what increases what helps your brain actually enhance and evolve and continue to let you grow. All right, there you go. That is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Thank you so much for listening. You can head over to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and the video of this episode. If you're interested in supporting the show, there's 2 ways we ask you to do that. First is to head on over to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review along with a comment. We'll read it here on the show. And the best way to help out the show is to tell a friend, share this with someone that you think might need to hear it today. Speaking of, mindset and ambition and all that. I have a friend.
I love that friend.
Went completely bald years ago, but he still carries a comb with him. Can you believe it? He just can't part with it. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram and now TikTok. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. Your action item is, do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? And looking at the different areas of your life. Do you have a fixed mindset in your relationship or a growth mindset? Do you have a fixed mindset in your business or a growth mindset? Do you have a fixed mindset in your fitness and health or a growth mindset? Like, go through each major category of your life and ask yourself, man, am I growing or am I dying here? Where's my mindset at? And remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers is top producers take action. So when you get that fixed mindset and you realize I want to make a breakthrough here, take action on that today.